Welcome once again to another podcast. My name is Seewing Yee from the Yee Real Estate Network, and my very special guest is Ms. Maureen McCann from Spartan Invest, one of the country's leading provider of turnkey properties, and she has a great team with a great professional property management, great team to help people, out-of-state investors, to buy single-family homes, mainly wherever you're located in the country, and you can do it out of state. It doesn't matter where you live in the U.S. or even foreign country for that matter. You can do it passively, you can do it remotely, and very, very successful because the system that Maureen McCann and her team has put together over the years you can be very, very successful doing this. All right, so thank you for attending, Maureen. How are you?
Oh, funny meeting you here, Mr. Seewing Yee. It's beautiful to see you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for co-presenting this, and I find your knowledge, your wisdom, your inspiration is something that you do not normally see anywhere in this real estate space, and I really value the way you deal with clients and your hands-on, high-touch, consultative approach in helping investors to achieve financial success. Thank you so much.
Takes one to know one. Recognizes like.
Exactly. So without further ado, let me share my screen and today's topic. And okay, I mean, look, we've been doing it for a long time. I've been doing real estate investing for more than 20 years. I have consulted thousands of real estate investors all over the country to buy turnkey properties, similar with Maureen. And okay, we have learned a lot over the years, and we're gonna talk about today why the top 1% of the wealth builders are trying to control and manipulate the mom and pop investors, the middle class, the working class, and this presentation is something you're not going to hear at any other from any other people. So this is very interesting, right? So again, why as a real estate investor you're going through a uphill struggle, right? And we're gonna try to help you overcome. We're gonna try to help you to overcome why 1% of the U.S. population is controlling 90% of the wealth. You could be the other 10% to overcome. You want to have the piece of the pie. You want to have a piece of the whole wealth pie and eat it too.
Yeah, the eat it part, you don't have to look at it. You want to be able to look at it and eat it.
Yeah, while most people, they can stare at this tasty pie and they cannot even get a minor bite out of it because they, for whatever reason, self-sabotage mindset, they're unable, right, to overcome this, systematic programming by the top 1%. Okay. Okay. I know.
You've all been brainwashed. It's false programming, but we're here to change it. Seriously, we are.
Well, we're going to give it a try, Maureen, right? So
I know. I was thinking serious try Seewing.
Here we go. Okay. Even during the good times, right? Look, in the past 10 years of real estate building, ever since the 2008 market crash, beyond that, from there on, from 2009, 2010, and up until now, 2022, real estate have made a lot of people very wealthy, right? You could, in the past 10 years, as long as you have good credit, you can have money to put 20 to 25% down payment or pay all cash, whatever. You could fog a spoon and buy rental properties and still make a lot of money. Am I right? I mean, it's not rocket science, right? Because, so, and yet, even even the last 10 plus years of systematic appreciation of real estate, you still have the multi-billion-dollar media empires that continue to divulge these negative headlines. And let me give you some example. See, and this is look at back in 2013, 2014, 2015. Look, all this media said CNBC, housing market already show signs of a bubble. Bubble. Look at the buzzwords: recovery, crash, inflated, fears. All these big, very intimidating words, right? Correction. Okay, this is just one slide. Let me show you many others.
Crisis. That's another big word.
Right. Buyers beware. Some of the cities are going to crash. That was back in 2019 or whatever. Oops. And then Forbes magazine, would it be a housing bubble 2.0? And then another slide.
And that was just 2 years ago.
I know. Even before the pandemic. Look at back to 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. Even New York Times, the so-called reputable magazine, the bubble is back. Fortune magazine, housing recovery, CNBC, CNN, see all these media companies, Market Watch, housing crash, crisis.
And guess what? Equity growth in housing, even through a pandemic, grew. The pandemic grew, and so did your equity in your property.
Yep. It's amazing, right? I mean, if you look back,
if you owned it.
Right. I know. Isn't it amazing? And then, okay, look at this. How long are you willing to wait for the impending market crash? I mean, all these gullible potential buyers and newbie real estate investors, even as we speak right now, they've been reading this media negative headlines. They say, let's wait for a crash. Or, I don't know. I don't see a crash coming. So.
Yep. Neither do I. A lot of experts don't either. You know what I'm thinking, Seewing, as you were just reviewing this? I wonder what percent of people still think that we could have another 08 situation? I could see why that would sideline them, right? But there's the lending laws have tightened up so much, and everybody knows what I'm talking about who's recently applied for a loan. All the information that they ask you for, right? There's no subprime product out there. There's no stated income, no money down. We're not in the same situation that led to the housing crash in 2008. We are far from it, especially because of the very tight lending regulations and laws that were put into place since then. So the banking industry is not going to have that risk at needing a bailout from housing again. It's never going to happen again, simply because of that Frank Dodd law that tightened up all the lending restrictions. So if you are one of those percentages because you're just not informed enough, just haven't gotten the right information from the right resources, then just know we're not there. We are not there. We are in a high demand, low supply of inventory situation. Demand is slowing a little bit. Home builders are starting to stop building, but the demand for housing is unchanged. It's only going to continue to increase.
Absolutely. We can briefly go back to the 2008 real estate crash. Back in those days, there were much more supply than there are demand. And worse, is the subprime mortgage crisis. Anybody that can fog a mirror can qualify for a loan. You have a barber or a nail salon person can do a liar loans, no down loans, 0% down loans. They can buy 5 rental properties back in 2005, 2006, right? So
yeah, I mean, just look at the opposite. We're the exact opposite. 2008, you had, or right after 08 when it crashed, you had high supply, high supply, high demand, right? And those people that were those investors that understand real estate and had the capital, man, didn't they get wealthy? Didn't they get wealthy over the last, whatever is that, 18 years, 10 years, whatever it is, right? Because they took action, they did something. You get nothing, you do nothing. Or you do nothing, you get nothing. You do something, you get something. Those investors, the ones that usurped up all of that, grabbed all of that real estate for cents on the dollar, man.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Now, in contrast, now we're in a low supply, high demand. We are in a high supply, high demand. Low, actually, I guess it kind of grew because some people were, scared of doing it. But here we're on the opposite end with very, very low supply, high demand. So the prices are high. Prices were low when inventory was high. Prices are high when inventory is low. It's like an escalator, right? We're a robot. It's like things go up and down all the time. You just have to be on the right side and have the right information to jump in.
Absolutely. Yeah, today, very hard to qualify to get a loan. You have most people have credit score of 760 or above that are buying properties now. So very, very good buyers these days, and people have a lot of equity. Not only from the pandemic in the last 2 years, people that own property for more than 3, 4, 5 years, have the value of their homes gained 50 to 100% over the past few years, believe it or not. So you're not going to see a crash or correction unless something catastrophic occurs, But other than that, I mean, people have so much equity in their homes. 30% of their homeowners in the U.S. have their house free and clear, right? The other 70% have a lot of equity on a home, and they're not going to walk away from the homes that can cause a crash. And furthermore, a lot of people a year and a half ago, have refinanced their loan to a 3% interest rate or lower. They're locked in effect of their interest rate of their home. They're not going to sell their homes and move up and buy another home 30% higher in price and having to pay 5.5 to 6%, double their mortgage payment.
Mm-hmm.
So people are not going to sell their home for this very reason. And the builders are not building their home fast enough. In fact, they are slowing down their construction. That will exacerbate the lack of supply of homes beyond this year and beyond. And then once the interest rate, if they get lower than 6% in the next 12 to 18 months, I even predict there will be a mini realistic boom all over again. But the smart people are gonna buy right now, right? You buy real estate right now and wait for the potential windfall down the road in the next few years. If they come, if they don't come, hey, you invest slow and steady. Nothing wrong with risk investors. Nothing wrong with investing slow and steady. That's how you win.
You just made me think of something, Seewing, right? So there's some people that might be sitting, some people out there that might be going, well, maybe I don't have good credit, or maybe I don't have the capital. Guess what? There's asset-based lenders out there. You don't have to go through a traditional, get a conventional loan. You can do, there are non-recourse products out there in the market right now where it's instead of 30 years, it's 15. Interest rates equivalent to what the current interest rate is on the conventional side. And there's it's not guaranteed on your personal credit. It's guaranteed on the production of the cash flow, the performance of the asset. It's called asset-based lending versus personal lending, right? There's a big difference between the qualifications. They need your personal credit. They need all your history. The asset-based lenders, they just need to know the asset's going to produce and they'll give you the money for it.
Yeah, well, Maureen, you have a list of lenders that do this kind of unique loans. Myself, I use Richard at Vanny.
Yeah,
he's a lending company.
Terrific.
Yeah, oh, he's great. Yeah, I've been using him for years. So you people out there, Maureen with Spartan Invest and myself with a Yee Real Estate Network, we have access to some great lenders that do those kind of very good creative loans out there. So yeah. So let me share my screen again. Let's continue with this narrative. Now, if you look at it, a lot of people try to get the wisdom education from the YouTube channels. Maureen, I don't know about you, but there are pros and cons about YouTube channels, right? I mean, we're, in modern days, look, back 10, 20 years ago, most investors have very little access to mass social media education. Now, right, there you can YouTube channel all day long, 24/7, 365, and learn something, right?
Yeah, and listen, and think about this. People, you seek what you believe. If you believe that the market's going to crash and it's doom and gloom, then you find social media sites and things that feed that. You click on those headlines: housing market update, don't move here, incoming housing crash. It's like there's so many other things that you could choose from, but what you believe you seek. It's kind of like, I almost equate it to when you buy a car. Like if you buy a new car, right, and you think like you're the only one that's ever had this car before, but then when you get in the car and you start driving around, you start seeing it, right? You start noticing the same car that you just bought, but before, when you didn't have the car, you never really noticed it. But now you have it, and now you notice it. It's in your awareness. So you seek what you believe in, right? So if you go, housing's going to crash, housing's doom and gloom, then you're going to read those headlines, because it's going to reinforce your belief system, which is not based on fundamentals. It's based on headlines that you've heard. That's the difference. This is what we're trying to cut. So keep going, because there's some more interesting headline or some more interesting channels. And last thing before you go to the next slide, look at the views. Anyone that's negative headlines, they get more views than the ones that are positive. Fear sells, people. Fear sells.
Absolutely. To your point, Maureen. So these real estate YouTubers out there, they are clickbait, and they have no conscience. It's just all this negative buzzwords. Look at, I'm not gonna mention names, okay? You see it for yourself, okay? I mean, look, this, look, this one video, 10-minute video, real estate going out of business, they have 153,000 clicks. This is mind-boggling. Mm-hmm. See, look at this. All this clickbait, they want. Look, I know these people are entrepreneurs. You and I are also entrepreneurs. I get it, but I can't do this. I mean, in my conscience, I just cannot produce anything like this and mislead the general public. There's so many gullible people out there. There's so many people that, believe it or not, people get brainwashed. Look, Americans are not getting the necessary financial education in their lifetime, right? In all the developed countries in the world, including Australia and Europe and US and Canada, right? And Japan, whatever, Asian countries, we are very highly developed in terms of our, ability to live well, right? Better than other countries of the world. And yet, financial education is lacking at the junior high school, college level. Most people, just need so much education, they're not getting it. But I come back to the 1% of the wealth builders out there. They want to keep us at our place. They don't want us to get wealthy, the middle class. And this YouTubers out there are not helping, right? They are getting the clicks because they want to promote their own business using this, very negative headline, crash, correction or whatever. So, Maureen and I, we just need to tell people, you're better than that. I mean, get informed, get educated, find the right resources, go to the right data, look at the right data, with something, Maureen, you and I try to provide. But there's only two of us versus many of them out there.
Seewing, think about this too. Where did you get your financial education? I know where I got mine. I got it at seminars that I paid for to go learn from people that were doing better than me. I put the money in. I put a lot of money in. I continue to put money in because I don't know it all, right? I have paid $25,000 to be part of a mastermind, right? Where I'm in a room full of people that are doing financially better than I am. But guess what? I paid to play. My financial education did not come from my schooling in the United States. My financial education came from my investment in myself to improve a skill so that I could change the financial direction that generationally my family had been on, of blue collar working folks working for money, pleasing the 1% because the 1% can keep more for themselves, because my family wasn't even, they were just trying to survive. They weren't even trying to get ahead. They were just trying to survive, right? That's the difference, is that your level of understanding of financial education is not coming from anybody but you having to seek it out. I'd love to see where you got your financial education from, Seewing.
Similarly, right? I mean, from college days, I always have an interest in money management, and even during my 20 years military career, I was in the financial field, right? Office work. So it's a systematic education. Then when I entered real estate industry 20 years ago, similar with you, right? Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? Robert Kiyosaki. He got me motivated, right? A lot of people, you Maureen, a lot of people I know over the years, have learned a lot from the Rich Dad Poor Dad book. And beyond that, I just continue to get educated, to pay for education, attend seminars, do all that on a systematic basis. And most important of all, I take action. You learn by doing. I have bought a lot of properties over the years. I bought and sold a lot of properties, and I continue to buy, even during these challenging times. This year, I'm under contract for 2 properties. So, education is great, but without action, education is really worthless. Mm-hmm. So you learn by doing, but when you buy your first property or subsequent properties, over time, you will learn. You will learn by the school of hard knocks, right? You learn in the trenches, right? And you learn from your mistakes. Nobody are perfect. Even I make some financial mistakes in the past, but you learn from those mistakes. Don't let those mistakes affect you negatively. So you still push forward, right? Take some risk and continue learning. Real estate or financial education is a lifetime of learning. It never ends. I mean, it's a journey. No, it doesn't. It's a financial journey. You take action, and that's how you build your wealth over time. And the message of this presentation is just you have to learn from the right sources. You have to do your research and due diligence, and surround yourself with a trusted team of advisors. Maureen and I, we use a turnkey approach. We provide an umbrella of comprehensive services for our out-of-state Turkey real estate investors out there. So that's that's how I did it. So Maureen.
Yeah, I know I kind of sidetracked us a little bit, but I think that's the missing piece. That's the missing piece, is just the financial education piece. Because if the 1%, they've got this financial education, they hang out with these people, right, all the time. And the financial education is such the missing piece that once you have the financial education, you can laugh at those headlines, right? Or you can use logic. You can push emotion to the side, push fear to the side, use logic, remember the fundamentals, and then just think about, okay, what makes sense based off of history, based off of reason, based off of my knowledge base, based off of what my network does, right? And then you use what you know, and you're able to ignore all of those sensationalized headlines and all the buzzwords: crisis, crash, recession, bubble, this, that, and the other, right? Okay, if a recession comes, you just have to know how to navigate it. Knowledge, financial knowledge is going to give you the roadmap, the blueprint to navigate it. So it's just, that's the missing piece is, and think about this. I don't know if people know this, but Robert Kiyosaki actually went to several universities in the United States to offer to implement his financial education into those universities and colleges. And he was rejected. Question would be, why? Most people don't know that, but why? Because a lack of financial education gives the big guys control of the little guys. They keep more of the wealth, and the little guys just get the crumbs, if at all. Or they just go, it's too hard. They find some reason to it's so easy to let the fear just go, okay, I'm not going to do anything because it's easier not to do anything. But if you've got the financial education piece, you can cut through the noise. You can build the wealth despite the fear. It's like, I can remember the first time I bought my first rental property, I was scared to death. I had no idea what I was doing. I thought I was going to lose money. It's all the fear chatter, right? It's a bad idea, you're going to lose money, but I did it anyway, right? Because I got the education, and it was like, the education piece that I got started pushing against the old belief system, the wrong programming that I had in my mind. Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, is the book that will switch. If you haven't read it, it's the book that will switch your mindset on how to look at money and that's the beginning book. But if I would recommend anything, it would be that book, because if you want better for yourself, then you have to do better. If you do nothing, you get nothing. Nothing changes. If you do something and you get something, whether it's a lesson, generational wealth, growth, you know what? You're better off than where you were before. And I know that personally. I know you know that personally too.
Well, Maureen, I mean, I think the theme of this presentation, once again, I mean, it's just, do not, just take back control of your personal life.
Yeah.
And, Maureen, you and I, our business model is that we helped the regular folks out there. For the lack of a better term, you and I, your company, my company, we help mom and pop real estate investors. What does that mean, right? That means you are a hardworking individual or a couple. I mean, you have a regular job, a lot of physically, I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, but I promote turnkey investment properties all across the country, especially in the South and Southeast. And your company, Spartan Invest, specialize in turnkey, ready to go rental properties in your area, which you cover a wide area. You're one of the top turnkey providers in the country. And we promote Alabama, Tennessee, and Northern Georgia, which is a very, very good market, up and coming market. So we cater to typical people, like people that have a W-2 job, people that make anywhere from $50,000 to $200,000 a year, right? My typical investors over the years, they're buying these out-of-state turnkey properties are, engineers, right? Silicon Valley, right? And medical people, nurses and doctors, and management level type of people, mostly people earning W-2 income. And I mean, they earn a decent living, right? Earning W-2 income, they can provide for their daily needs and all that. And I'm proud to coming to us, these investors, proud to coming to my organization and your organization. They don't know anything about real estate investing, right? Especially investing out of state. So they be investing on a traditional basis in a 401k, IRAs, the stock market, and mutual funds. And they come to me, they say, look, the money I'm making, the W-2 money I'm making, I'm working hard, just it's a rat race out there. I want to diversify my investments above the traditional stocks and bonds, what have you. I want to diversify into real estate, and real estate in our local markets is too expensive. When you live in San Diego, similarly in the Bay Area, San Francisco is so expensive, you cannot cash flow, so you buy out of state. So we just provide this resources for investors to buy cash flow properties, with full property management. The mom and pop, middle class America, even lower middle class America, to challenge you guys out there. there are ways you can change your financial life using real estate above and beyond what you have done or not done prior to venturing into this turnkey real estate world. So that's been my business model for the past 20 plus years. So that's why we have this passion to help investors that way. So with 5 minutes left, Maureen, what are your takeaway and recap about your philosophy and why you do what you do? What is your inspiration? What is your motivation to do what you do, and with the passion that you have? So tell the audience why real estate is your calling.
There's 3 reasons. Elle, Cassius, and Charlie. Those are my 3 kids. And I grew up seewing in a household that I'd always hear money doesn't grow on trees, turn off the lights, we don't own the electric company. I always heard the words, we can't afford it. And that's all programming that was in my mind for a very, very long time. And I wouldn't do certain things because it was like, I probably get a lot of mindset of investors listening out there and haven't done anything yet. And it's because of that negative program that was programmed into my mind. And so I read the Rich Dad Poor Dad book. That was a total shift in the old way of thinking about money and the new way of thinking about money, but I didn't even know the new way yet. I had to learn it. And that's why I invested money in my education and continue to do so, because it benefits. So selfishly, guys, the reason I did this was because I wanted to provide a financial education, change the financial legacy of my family, and put it on a new course of abundance versus scarcity, abundance thinking versus scarcity thinking. And if I wanted that change, I had to change my mindset so that I could be good, which you probably heard the kids in the background, change their financial future. That was my motivation. That was my inspiration. And then I happened to meet my business partners, Clayton Mobley and Lindsay Davis, and they had this opportunity to start a turnkey company that I had already been selling. I'd been selling in the turnkey market for 4.5 years. Then I had this opportunity to become a co-founder of a company, and be able to bring all of this, all of my education, and then the product in one place, right? And deliver it to those people who were of the same mindset that I used to be, because I know what the difference is now for my life. And if I were to turn my camera around, I live on top of the hill. I've got a view of the Pacific Ocean. If you saw where I grew up, so different, right? And everybody gets inspired by the underdog story. But the only reason the underdog becomes something is because the underdog did something. And that's the difference. That's the difference. So I do it because now I want to help other families create financial legacies for themselves. Because think about this, and I've said this before, not on this podcast, but just with my friends and close ones. I was like, the legacy that I really want to leave is when I leave this planet, I want kids and grandkids and great grandkids of people that I helped today build a financial empire talk about how their parents or grandparents were able to do it. And it was because of the help of people like you and I that actually genuinely care about people. And we know the benefits of it because we ourselves have experienced the wealth building benefits of owning real estate, and me owning a real estate turnkey company. That is why I do it, because the legacy I will leave will far exceed my short time here. If you can set people financially free, and that goes all the way down their lineage forever, that is a game changer. That's a legacy maker.
Yep, absolutely. I totally agree. You and I have the same philosophy, and we try to help each investor one at a time to build wealth that they deserve for themselves, their families, their legacies, generationally. Yep. So yeah, I mean, we are making our impact in the world, and that's our legacy, you and mine. So thank you so much. I think that will conclude our presentation. And the theme is, once again, just don't let the media manipulate you. Do not let the top 1% fat cat control all the wealth. You can get a piece of the action. You can have the piece of the pie and eat it too. Don't don't fall into the trap of the negativity headlines out there. They are designed to sabotage your financial future, and overcome that, and listen to the authentic people out there. Hopefully, myself and Maureen, authentic, transparent people that does good, that are legitimate, that have a good track record, they have transparency, they are honest, they have integrity. Surround yourself with a team of financial advisors that have the similar philosophy, and let them help you to achieve wealth through real estate, and you should be fine. So thank you once again. As always, Maureen, you've been a great help to help me put together tremendous, great contents, great presentation, and looking forward to working with you. And together we can provide some great financial education and action plan for our real estate investors. Thank you so much for listening. This is Seewing Yee and Maureen McCann. Thank you. Have a nice day, and we will see you on the other side.
Bye.
Yep. Thank you. Bye-bye.